Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we're in another one here on this hood off of our vintage 1970 Plymouth Duster drag car. Today we are going to make the add-on braces for both sides of this hood to give this extra rigidity since we've had to do so much work in this hood. Well, we're going to go over into the mill today, mill some slots and drill some holes, and we got all kind of stuff to do, so don't go away. I'm Mike and you're watching My Car Shop. Before we get into the machine work today, let's recap everything we've done in the last 4 or 5 episodes on this project. I've already done the layout on one of these, getting things centered up and so forth. I don't have an end mill that's exactly the right size. The closest I had was a half, and I felt that was a little big because those slots are a little smaller than half. But I think we're close here to being able to get started on making these slots. I do need to measure the length on those slots to be sure that I'm close, and we're going to go from there. So let me go get that done, and I'll be right back. Wrote down a couple of numbers, like the width of the slot is about 1.2 inches and the distance between is about 3.1 in here. So I think that's right. Yep. And I had made this template before when we made the sheet metal parts. So we got enough to go on here, I think, that we'll be okay. Got to power up the power supply for the mill. I forgot about doing that, and we'll get going on this thing. Okay, there we go. We're going to zero out our indicator there. Make sure that we're good. Pick a starting point here. Seems like it never fails that whenever I start recording, the heaters come on, but it'll be all right. It's pretty good, I think. So we need to go 1.2 in our length from there. Let's zero this out. We're not doing anything on our y-axis right now. And I also got to account for the width of this. So I don't remember what size that was. Okay, so 1 inch is what we're shooting for here. About right. Doesn't hurt to pause and reflect for a moment. I'm gonna go at 95. I think that's pretty good. Now we got to drop down a little more. Here we go. Very good. Now we need to come again out here 3.1 and plunge another hole. So let's measure that out real quick. So we're at 0.95 and we're going to add 3.1 to that, which would make it basically 4.0. It should be close. Looks like it's got to go a little more than that. Let's check it against our template. Pretty close. Oh yeah, plus the width of the, so another 0.2. So it'll be 4.2. Okay. Yep, that looks right, because I made a little mark there just to be safe. Yep, that's close. Okay, so 4.2. And then from there, what did I say? It was 1.2. So we're going to end up at 5.4 on the readout up there. Again, I always like to just do a reference mark because I don't trust my maths and stuff. So we're going to know we're going to need to be down in this ballpark here somewhere. I'm going to write my 1.2 down there so I don't forget, because it's right where I'm going to be machining it. Okay, boom. I don't like the fact that that's hanging way out here in the middle of the air like that, but we'll see how it goes. I wasn't planning ahead very well. If we were doing high holy precision machining, I wouldn't do this. When I do the other side, I will definitely give myself some more latitude with a better attitude. You don't have to have a mill to do this. 1.2, we're going to start. So it'd be 5.4, okay. Again, you don't have to have a mill to do this. But it helps. .2, not 5.4, right? Check my stuff here. I'm not quite to 5.2 yet, but just want to be sure I'm in the right ballpark. Yep. A little bit more, not much. There we go. I went 5.15. This is going to be easy enough to set up again. We're not in high holy precision work here, so I'm going to pop that out of there real quick. We obviously still need to open the slots up wider. We'll do that here in a minute, but I want to check this against my template. And we're going to go check it against the hood itself. But I think that's pretty good. I think that looks really good, actually. So we'll need to make these slots wider, of course, but not bad. And here's the proof is in the pudding. Yep, that's good. So we just need to make it wider now. I want them just a little bit longer and a little bit wider than the factory ones. This one could use to come a little more. We'll adjust that when we get there. But it's looking good. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I got her set back up. I re-zeroed everything. We're going to just open these up a little bit, one way or the other here. Wider, probably about an 1/8 inch each direction to start. So let's see, 1/8 is 1.125. Shouldn't have gone quite that much. Back to 0. There, and then we'll go 0.125 the other way. And we're doing all right. Somehow I ended up walking a little. I'm not sure what happened there. Turned out really good. I'm going to do a little cleanup work on it, but right now what I'm trying to do is just see exactly what we have to do to make this fit better. It's kind of binding a little down here, so I'm going to just shave a little off of that end down there. And I think the other thing we need to do is just shave a little off the back here, just to match that contour. But otherwise, I think it looks good. So then we need to determine how many plug weld holes we're going to put in it. But I think I want to go ahead and shave off this edge a little bit and make sure everything's lining up copacetic. So we'll get that done, and we'll be right back. So the decision I have to make is if I'm going to put it every 4 inches or every 8 inches. I'm not going to put anything in between here, but I can go through and put a little edge weld on this when it's in place. So we may do that. I'm wondering about doing that here, where if I go here, 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 and then one more out here, or maybe I go here, 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 and here. I like that. Okay, so we're going to eliminate this one, and this one. And then we'll edge weld it on those spots there. So we'll have an edge weld between, and then the plug welds in those other spots. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe the ones off that I don't need, so I'm sure I have everything exactly right. Now you also need to make sure I keep that 1.2 because I'm going to need that. Nice thing is we already have this set up to make this real easy now because it's already centered. All we have to do is put our number back to 0. It'll be my other 0. Okay, that should be centered. We'll eyeball it to make sure. Yep, we're golden, mullet. All right, let's bring that up where I want my hole, which is going to be right there. Now the beautiful thing is all we got to do is transfer all that over to the same thing on the other piece of metal, and we're golden. So we'll go through and make those marks so we know about where things go and get her done. I did go a little bit skinnier on this one. I went 1.25 here per, and on here I just went 100. I feel like that's a little better number, so it'll be all right, but there's just a little more material for strength there, so we'll only go 100 on the other one. But let's get this marked out, and then we'll get the machining done on the next one. There we go. Got both braces made. I need to get this one twisted to match the contour of this, and I haven't trimmed this one down yet by shaving off the bottom and shaving off the top, and then we'll have to twist that one. Let's get this one done first and get it so it fits good. in place with its little twist again like we did last summer, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I think this is overall going to be pretty good in overalls. So yeah, our twist is going to be right in this area here somewhere. So let's twist again like we did last summer. I got this one tacked in. I'm not going to put it in permanently yet. I want to test fit the hood on the car to make sure everything is good. I'm still concerned that there may be too much bow and not enough Luke in this side over here. I've got some welding to do in here yet, but I don't want to do any of that until we test fit it. So I'm probably not going to put this one on yet until we see what the hood looks like on the car. We're just going to have to be super careful that there's not a weakness in here that could potentially cause this hood to buckle again, but we'll be all right with that. The other brace is over there drying. If everything fits good and the hood looks good, then we can go ahead and permanently weld both of these strap supports. Well, that was one heck of a job of work. One of these bolt hinges back here, hinge bolts, was like this on the inside. It's why I had a heck of a time getting the bolt to start. The hood is up just a little teeny bit right here, but I think it's because of the rubber stuff in there, so I'm not too worried about that. I got it sucked down pretty hard here. It could be that the front of the hood hinge is up just a little bit there, but you know, considering the hood was bent at like 45 degrees before we started all of this, I think that's pretty respectable. The gap is nice. I think it may be a little wide on the back, but it's not bad. Well, it's really not bad at all. Better than I thought. It's up a little bit in here too, and this side wasn't bent or broken, so there could be other things because of the unibody on this car, stuff like that. But overall, I think it looks pretty good in its overalls. So I don't have the brace on here yet. I still need to finish welding that. This one does have the brace we need to finish welding. It's just spotted in place. But I think that's giving some nice rigidity to the hood, so I like that. I think that's going to be pretty darn good. It's interesting that this green primer is close to the color of the car. I like that. We may be able to just use that under the hood when we're getting closer to being done here, for the purposes of blending it in, because it's just an under hood. But overall, yeah, I think it looks pretty darn good. Pretty respectable. Let's get her closed down again and check our alignment one more time. Nuts are there. The hood really closes nice. It does pull a fair bit back there. It's normal. Put my hood pin nuts on because I don't have the hood pins for it. It's actually not a bad way to go. Just using nuts on here. Pull that down just a little bit tighter this time. Okay, pretty good. Push her down a little bit. Yeah, that's it's down in that corner just a little bit. Not bad. Put this one on. Yep, it's down in the back there now. It wasn't down in the back before. That's probably because things aren't tightened down quite like they should be. We'll get. I also gave that a big push back there, so that's possible. That's some of it. Let's get this pulled down here, like so. Okay, that's good. We'll find out here real carefully and real quickly if that's the issue. I'm just going to go here. There's already a rust spot there anyway. Yeah, that's better. That side's still down really tight, which means my hinge is probably still walking around a little bit, but this side again was the factory piece. There we go. I do not recommend doing this, but there's already a rust spot here on both the cowl and the hood, so I'm not prying against anything that's going to chip paint or anything. But that looks pretty good. Take you around for one final look. So we'll know we need to tighten things down a little more and it's stuff, but yeah, not too shabby. Considering what it is, trying to preserve the original hood. This, I think the hood stop on this side is up a little bit. There we go. It really does look good. So I know if I had these tight and we went through all of our usual adjustment stuff, that would be pretty reasonable. Yeah, I really think it's the rubbers are holding the whole hood up a little bit, or it may just be a little sprung. But you know what? I can live with it. I could mess and mess and mess and mess. You guys will know it. Nobody else would know it when they saw the car. So cool. I mean, it's. I get down, I can feel it, but when I get down and run my eye down it, it's less than a 32nd of an inch. So I'm being too critical. Well, I am out of time. I wanted to get this other brace in and finish that up, but I got to weld the inside of this hood where we did all that fabricating and get that finished up before we can put the other brace on. So I'm going to make that another day. That'll probably take me the better part of a day to get that done. I've got other things I need to accomplish today. So I appreciate you being here. This is really exciting progress here on the Forsyth Duster. We're really just trying hard to preserve this as much as possible, putting it back to what it was like in the late 70s or early 80s, knowing that there's going to be some deterioration that has happened in the last 40 years, but really to pay tribute and honor Bob's family, leave the car to some degree as they remember it without doing a full restoration, and just really, taking our hat off to Bob Forsyth and all of the years that he spent drag racing this car at our local track. All right, that'll do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. I don't care, tell anybody. Let's get the subscriber count continuing to grow. I appreciate all the love and support that you've shared with me. And, oh yeah, it's important. Don't forget. Hoorah!